When something you work on gets the attention it does, whether it's pop culture or whether it's as a publishing item, there's always a satisfaction about it. But with Kick-Ass, there is such a flattery because it became the film, and that was my first time being involved with something that became a film.
Walking onto a set of something that you've devised is like being John Malkovich. I mean, this is essentially like my head spilling out into the real world in Pinewood. It actually feels quite odd. Occasionally I do think, am I having a nervous breakdown? And I'm imagining this right now, you know, because it's too good to be true, isn't it, you know? And it could not be more exciting. And I mean, it's still so early in my career for not to be excited, but, you know, not to actually get some kind of buzz out of it at that point. I genuinely can't believe it. I'm excited they're even letting me onto a film set.
The first thing I saw was Chris in costume. I actually enjoyed it more than the first. And then I saw Olga in all her glory, and that was the part that really threw me. I thought that was just outstanding, the way they look. I'm proud of all of the attention it got. I'm proud of the pop culture, but Mark and I managed to stick with what we intended to do. And it had to be inventive. And the whole idea with the first series was to apply my normal storytelling to far out violence, and it managed to work. I can't really describe how it feels, but I'm very proud. In Hit Girl, she's struggling to be a little girl, and she's asked Kick-Ass to teach her how to be a normal little girl in exchange for her teaching him how to be a maniacal revenger, which is such a great juxtaposition. I love that. That's brilliant stuff. And she struggles with something as simple as a bully. And instead of crying about it, she gets pissed and becomes Hit Girl again, only without the costume. So she's teaching Kick-Ass how to be a superhero, and he's teaching her how to be a little girl. And that's what the series is basically, until it comes to the point where she has to manifest herself as Hit Girl again. It's so well done, and I take pride in the way the book comes out. But the way Mark sets it up for me to play with it, there's a couple of scenes that I managed to shock Mark and the editor and Tom, the inker and the colors, that I took more pride in shocking them than they expected. I had to show my son. This is the kid. I wouldn't have let him in the room while I was drawing the first series. He was too young, he was 11, and I was really getting brutal. And the second series, we got brutal, and this scene, I had to show him. I said, Vinny, you gotta come down to see this. I just caved the guy's head in with a sledgehammer. What? Oh, wow, he said, that's so cool. Oh, when a 16-year-old thinks it's cool, you're in good shape. If I set the moment aside, I think I've really got a problem that I'll have to go to rehab after I'm done working with Mark.
It's time to see what evil dick feels like.
Oh, Riddle.
The rape scene had to be implied. We couldn't obviously show it. And yet, the reaction on the internet about it was that we had shown a girl being brutally gang raped. We didn't show anything. And I got nasty emails from people that said, how could you do that? This is comics. Girl gets beaten and gang raped. I said, well, I didn't show anything. What are you guys talking about? Yes, you did. I saw it. So it became this viral sensation. That bothered me more than Colonel Stars. But not while I was doing it, because I knew I was trying to be discreet about it. And yet when I heard that people said that we got sick and twisted as opposed to the normal sick and twisted we were during the series, that bothered me. But the scene with Colonel Stars with the dog's head, I said, Mark, this is our horse's head in the bed scene. And he says, yeah, it's Godfather, that's right, Godfather.
It's funny, it's the first thing that Matthew and Jeff said to me. They said, oh, we love this. And they've got all the atrocious things that happen, all these horrible things that happen in this movie, and they said, you can't kill the dog.
Want me to kill his dog?
The dog? Jesus Christ, I'm not that evil.
I'm very, very lucky, actually. Like, as the writer, I honestly do feel I have the easy job, you know? Like, I just come up with some ideas, write the story kind of thing. Johnny then spends weeks, months, really, sort of putting a graphic novel together and draws this amazing thing. You can draw action like nobody else, draw character like nobody else.
The second series and the Hit Girl series are breakdowns, and that was for time's sake. Breakdowns are supposed to make the inker work extra hard. Fortunately, the Kick-Ass series was less about dark shadows and shading and black fields, and it was line work. Tom takes my breakdowns.
Tom has been embellishing it, you know, and making it perfect, you know.
Fortunately, Tom's allowing my stuff to show through, even with the breakdowns. He's a brilliant artist before he's an inker. And Dean is a painter before he's a color artist.
Dean, who is probably the best colorist in the business. I mean, for anyone who doesn't read comics, it's kind of like the painter, you know, the man who sort of takes it from black and white and makes it every shade of every color you can imagine and just brings it to life. So it's kind of like putting flesh onto the bones of it.
Tom and Dean have just absolutely knocked it out of the park. It's just stunning how beautiful the work is.
I'm just really lucky. I'm surrounded by guys who are better than I am, you know, and it makes me look good, you know. So that's my strategy. People keep saying, how come you seem to have all this luck and everything? It's just like Forrest Gump or whatever, you know, I just always seem to be in the right place at the right time, surrounded by people who seem to know what they're doing. I based this trilogy on the Star Wars trilogy, you know, and if you are sort of semi-autistic like I am, you know, you can go back and look at every one of these moments, you know, and kind of see where I have stolen things from Empire Strikes Back. Like Han and Chewie are basically Big Daddy and Hit Girl. They're the cool people who show up occasionally and do something awesome. The lead character is, you know, Mark Hamill, Luke Skywalker, which is Aaron Johnson. You know, sort of you're following him from the beginning as a young novice, you know, until he eventually becomes the expert in the third one. You've got R2-D2 and C-3PO, which are like Dave's friends. And the Death Star blowing up at the end of Star Wars was essentially the explosion with Mark Strong at the end of the first movie.
Superheroes can't exist in the real world for a reason. Is because the real world needs real heroes who can really kick ass.
I'm working on Kick-Ass 3 at the moment. I kind of know how Kick-Ass 3 ends. You know, I've had this stuff planned out for a long time, but it just takes a while for it to be drawn, you know, and Johnny does other stuff at the same time. Johnny is coming to the end of Kick-Ass 2 at the moment, and then we'll go into the third and final volume, and that's it. We're not doing any more Hit Girl, Kick-Ass, anything after that. They can make the movies, but I think the books will wrap with the third one, which my agent is going crazy about. My agent's saying to me, are you mad? This is such a cash cow. You know, just milk this cash cow.
I got a brilliant writer, and I got these two great artists working with me, and this is the best job. Like I said, most fun you can have with your clothes on.